Today we have a video in which just made me lose all hope for humanity, but then again, should I really be surprised? I mean, we have conspiracies everywhere, about virtually everything. Why should I be surprised when a video comes out with a whole bunch of students claiming that science should be abolished? Let's take a look.
Responses and then we'll take the next round.
Okay, so can I respond to your submissions, because I wanted to directly respond. I was actually thinking about this coming here because I thought that it was going to be one of the coming questions. How do we even start to decolonize science? Because science is true because it is science.
Science isn't true because it's science. Science is a method. It's our best method to finding the truth to reality. How can a method be wrong because it's a method? That just makes no fucking sense. Unless you're talking about the discoveries of science. Yeah, you probably meant that.
And, what can you do? And my response to that was, if I personally were committed to enforcing decolonization, science as a whole is a product of Western modernity, and the whole thing should be scratched off.
Yeah, let's scratch off thousands of years of work. You fucking people make me sick. You want to scratch off works of scientists, many who are black by the way, just to enforce your political and social propaganda. As much as I'm angry about this, I can't stay angry because I know that no one's actually going to listen to these clowns. As if science will actually be abandoned because one girl got her feelings hurt.
Especially in Africa, so if you want practical solutions to how to decolonize science, we'd have to restart science from, an African perspective, from our perspective of how we've experienced science.
What? Restart science from an African perspective? Give me a fucking break. There's no perspective in science. There's no subjectivity. Things are true no matter what angle you approach it from. 2 plus 2 will always equal 4, the sun will always be a star, and our bodies will always be composed of cells. How is this in any form of perspective? Explain to me. I just don't see how you even reached your stupid conclusion. Oh my fucking god.
For instance, I had a place for all the science people is there's a place in KZN, and they believe that through the magic, the black magic, we call it black magic, they call it witchcraft, others, that you are able to send a lightning to strike someone.
Send a lightning to strike someone? That's gotta be the boldest claim I've ever heard right after the earth is flat. I'm sorry, that has not been demonstrated to happen. You can't just say that it happens and expect people to believe it. Evidence, please.
So, can you explain that scientifically? Because it is something that happens.
Nice. That guy earns my respect.
Sorry. I need to address you directly. When we started this, we agreed on certain house rules.
As much as that guy probably disrupted the house rules for blotting that out, I feel like it needed to be said. Nonetheless, whatever. He broke the rules, he shouldn't have done that, but you're overreacting quite a bit.
Okay. And by you doing that, you're disrespecting the sacredness of the space.
Fuck you. Nothing in that room is sacred.
And so, I'd like to ask you to first please apologize to the panel directly, and then number 2, understand the rules that we went by in this space.
Blah blah blah, skip.
So I will finish. See, that very response is the reason why I am not in the science faculty.
Oh really? You're not in the science faculty because someone said it's not true to something that's not true? Fantastic. No, the real reason you're not in the scientific faculty is because you're fucking retarded. I'm sorry, but someone who has the ideas that you possess most definitely doesn't understand the spirit of science. I suggest for you to go back and try science in college for real without any presuppositions.
I did science throughout my high school years, and there was a lot of things that I just, but it's fine.
Sure, you did science in high school, but did you do anything for real? Did you actually learn science, or did you just roll your eyes and undermine the discoveries of all these scientists made before you were even born? By the way, why don't you just throw away all your computers, smartphones, and every technology you own? Because we wouldn't have those if science didn't come into existence. But you won't do it, right? Is it because, I don't know, you're a fucking hypocrite?
But Western modernity is the direct antagonistic factor to decolonization because Western knowledge is totalizing.
Science didn't even start in the fucking West. Oh my fucking god, I don't think I can take much more of this. Claims after claims with no evidence or reasoning, that's all they can do.
It is saying that it was Newton and only Newton who knew or saw an apple falling, and then out of nowhere decided that gravity existed and created an equation, and that is it. For the whether people knew Newton or not, or whether whatever happens in Western Africa, Northern Africa, the thing is, the only way to explain gravity is through Newton, who sat under a tree and saw an apple fall.
So what? That doesn't make it any less true. If you think you can come up with an alternative explanation of gravity, I would love to hear it. Oh, wait, but you're not a science person, are you? Look, it could have been anyone. Newton could have been an African, and his findings would still be true. You want to scratch off science and do it again in an African perspective? Go ahead, do whatever you want, but at the end, you're gonna get the same equations that Newton came up with. And what do you mean out of nowhere he decided that gravity existed? What the fuck? There were countless hours spent on this. Oh my fucking god, you little shit.
So Western modernity is the problem that decolonization directly deals with, to say that we are going to decolonize by having knowledge that is produced by us, that speaks to us, and that is able to accommodate knowledge from our perspective.
How the fuck can knowledge speak to you? What the fuck kind of metaphor is this? From your perspective? You know what? Come up with one piece of knowledge from the scientific method that speaks from a Western perspective. Just one, a valid one, because you can't. You can't give an example of what doesn't exist. Come on, just give me one. One where the discovery of science is racist. Holy shit. Oh, and just because a white man discovered or calculated something doesn't make it fucking racist.
So if you're saying that you disagree with her approach, it means that you are vested in the Western and Eurocentric way of understanding, which means you yourself still need to go back internally, decolonize your mind, come back and say, how can I re-look at what I've been studying all these years? Because Western knowledge is very pathetic, to say the least. I, from a decolonized perspective, believe we can do more as knowledge producers, as people who are given the ability to reason, or whatever is that people say we do when we think or rationalize.
You have this proper mindset? Really now, you're not going into any detail on how to achieve this. If you've already adjusted your perspective, then why haven't you discovered anything new? Why haven't you contributed to our knowledge of the universe? And when you want people to restart science from an African perspective, even if everything you said were true, which it's not, you would be no better than what you claim science to be. In that case, you'd be the racist one. All you're doing is changing which side science is on, and you wouldn't ultimately be solving the problem. Which, by the way, there is no problem since science is objective. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Sorry about being so angry throughout. This just really pissed me off. It's not often you see young people in college who deny science. Science is sacred. It represents all of humanity's knowledge about the universe and about reality. Without it, we would be lost in the dark. Science is the best.
Thank you.